Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about the Hopi prophecy, something I am not that familiar with. Actually, many years ago, and I mean many, I did read um, Frank Waters' book on the Hopis and their prophecies, but that was a long time ago, and I don't think I read it in its entirety. So I'm not really actually that familiar with it. And today I saw a short video of some of the prophecies that really blew me away because I wasn't familiar with most of it. And I found that it fit very well with the information Thoth had given me some years ago concerning the stages leading into the New Earth Star hologram state of consciousness realm, whatever we want to call it. Certainly, there's some language differences, some perspective differences, perhaps. My information is coming more from kind of a quantum science view, and of course, the Hopi. This was an ancient uh, prophecy that was passed down word of mouth largely for many years. So they were viewing it from their culture and perspective, and then it evolved in culture and perspective as they changed and moved forward. And of course, things tended to become more suitable to the culture that was currently viewing it. So we can look at both and say, well, both are coming from different perspectives, so there's different language involved. But I found them both to really resonate with one another. That said, I would like to begin by us viewing together the Hopi prophecy video, which is a little over 5 minutes long, and I might be pausing it here and there to uh, talk about it a bit. I have the sound off so that it makes it a little less um, distracting for my purposes. These two brothers are twin comets, and there are twin comets that just passed by us, so some people are thinking that perhaps that's the sign. Maybe it is, but we don't actually know yet, and I haven't received any information from Thoth on that. They will start as fires that will burn within us. Not far behind will come the Purifier, the red Kachina. There will be messages that precede the coming of the Purifier. They will leave messages to those on earth that remember the old ways. The messages will be found on the living stone, through the sacred grains and even the waters. From the Purifier will issue forth a great red light. All things will change in their manner of being. Every living thing will be given the opportunity to change from the largest to the smallest living thing. Well, now this certainly attunes to what Thoth has given me concerning there will be the sun will turn blood, and the blood sun will be a transformative stage, and all reality will start shifting with that. Now, as you will see, the red purifier, the purifier as they call it, seems to be the approaching of a comet or a planet or something of that nature, but I speculate that that may not be so. Let's get a little further in this, and I'll talk about that. Those who return to the ways given to us in the original teachings will not be touched by the coming of the purifier. They will survive and build a new world. Now, this is what Thoth has indicated from the Pyramidus radius matrix that is building around the planet. Those who are in that vibration will have a place to be nurtured and to adjust to the massive and profound changes occurring on the planet. Those who did not accept that vibration into their being, who have not raised their vibrational spectrum to match it, will have great difficulty. And we'll talk a little bit about more of that as we continue here with the prophecy. Many will appear to have lost their souls in the final days. So intense will be the nature of these changes. And those who are weak in spirit will go insane, for we are nothing without spirit. Now, Thoth has said exactly the same thing, that the ones who are not capable of reaching this vibration, out of those, many will go insane. That's exactly what he said. And here Thoth speaks about these sleepers and walkers, as he calls them. And, oops, I don't mean to ruffle the pages. Sorry about that, and the stuttering. Okay, let me find it here without making too much noise. He speaks of the New Earth voyagers, and those presumably are the ones within the Pyramidus radius matrix. When I received this information, I didn't know about the PMR. PMR, yes. And the sleepers and the walkers. The sleepers are those souls who are not ready for the metatronic path of the New Earth star and have chosen to die and insert themselves into the incarnating field of another ortronic world. The sleepers will be in a dreamy, euphoric trance during LP40, and most will blissfully leave their bodies during LP40, moving away from this realm and into another world presence with the half-light universe. It says most, some may not have quite as easy a passage. And then the walkers, these are the souls who have so little light body, whether through physical and emotional damage to it or due to very dense karma, that they will not experience any of the beauty of LP40. They will see the world darkly, seeming to exist in a dark cloud. They will not be able to think or reason clearly due to the breaking up of the lower Akashic, and will be fearful and in emotional anguish. Some will experience physical discomfort. Most will perish in the rushing of energies from the center of the planet, which will electrocute most of these persons. However, some will survive through sheer personal will, only to die in the final entropy breakdown of the planet within a 30-day period after LP, or Light Principle 40. That's the ascension demarcation point. The walkers, like the sleepers, will then move into another world of the Orotron. Well, this sounds, I know, pretty horrible, but remember, these souls have chosen not to participate in any way in the process. And they will be given a last-minute offer, so to speak, to be able to move into some state of parity, at least so that the trauma will not be there. Every effort will be made by those who are helping us to see that even the worst of the worst, so to speak, and I hate to use the term worst, but those are really down in the gutter, have put themselves there, are not going to go through torment. They're going to ease it as best they can. But if people wish to saw off their own arm, it's hard to stop them. Eventually they will do it, And so those souls will have a very difficult time in this particular period, in the latter days, the latter of the latter days. After the arrival of the twins, they begin to vanish before your eyes like so much smoke. Well, this is an interesting statement because Thoth has spoken about, how they will simply, some of them will just be taken up, so to speak, into the next phase for them, which is not our new earth experience, but to help them pass through and get into another orotronic world as quickly as possible. It could be referring to that. However, it could also be referring to the fact that Thoth has said that the two worlds will exist, two worlds, and the one will not be aware of the other, will gradually not become aware of the other. That is, those now I know in the Pyramidus radius matrix, when they're truly in that, when they're totally in that frequency, they won't be able to see or experience those that are not. And those that are not will not be able to see or experience them. Just like now, we cannot see or experience, for the most part, beings in other electromagnetic zones of the earth, or even our alternate incarnations in other electromagnetic zones. These are all shut away from us, or those that have passed on, so to speak, but are still, as almost all are, in astral levels of this earth experience. So, we aren't aware of them. We occasionally are. We see a spirit, or our grandmother comes to us or whatever. But for the most part, we do not see this. So this is the vanishing before your eyes like so much smoke, perhaps, because they will very quickly be gone from our sight. Very quickly, dramatically. And it won't happen across the board. Like everybody disappears at once. They will just suddenly, this one, it just starts happening, depending upon the vibrational level. In a way, these movies, and I've not really watched them, I watched 5 minutes of one time, but these movies where people disappear off the planet and it's very in a Christian format of following the Bible and everything. Well, there's some truth in the Bible. Actually, there's a lot of truth in it, but a lot of it's been rehashed a few thousand times and changed to suit people in power and all of that too. But if you dig, it's there. So even though the interpretation that the dogmatic Christianity gives it is pretty limited, it's true that people will start disappearing in that fashion. There will be those who walk in their body that are not from this reality, for many of the gateways that once protected us will be opened. There will be much confusion between the sexes, the children, and their elders. Life will get very perverted, and there will be little social order in these times. Now, this really grabbed me, and I've never read it before that I recall from the Hopi prophecy. But Thoth certainly gave this to me in many different, or several different transmissions throughout the years. One states, all incarnate souls are living in their experiences at once. Only the illusion of linear time causes us to separate it out into segments. I am here now, not there. I will be there, or I was there, but I am not there now. This is simply a product of the greater magnetic field we live in, which causes our brains and bodies to move in specific units of cognizance. And so, here's another segment from my information that gave me on the whole process. The Orahim will create, this is a high ultra being type group format, I guess you'd call it, will create a unified field in our space-time, allowing all other electromagnetic zones within our Earth spectrum to become present in one waveform. Thus, we will see many beings among us, and they will see us. The same thing that's being said here. All these ensouled ones will share the ascension experience with us, as there will no longer be separate zones or compartments to this fractured planetary consciousness as in the past. Included will be the she races of the fairy beings, those residents of the inner earth and other dwellers of our earthen sphere who have until now remained behind the veil for us. The Orahim light vehicles will create stability zones around the Golden Taya regions. These are the regions that have of land that have the light codes that will go with us to create the new earth. And further codes of light will be inserted through these fields, allowing greater beings of light to enter our domain without being of the same light vibration. These supernal beings will prepare us spiritually and physically for our ascent through the gate of the star grail and into the new earth star. They will begin the sequencing of light code firings in our body, already greatly transformed by the LP40 process thus far, which will register the sacred Star of David configuration around our individual forms. This star will become an 8-pointed star tetrahedron encompassing the whole body within it. And so let us continue here. Still others will appear untouched by what is occurring, those who remembered the original teachings and have reconnected with their heart and spirit, those who remember their mother and father, the Pahana who left them to live in the mountains and forests. Well, this is really speaking, of course, of Gaia, the mother, and the star fathers, the star beings, and it's saying they will be untouched. Well, this is within the Pyramidus radius, which is not a place, it's an energy format. When the Purifier comes, we will see him first as a small red star, which will come very close and sit in our heavens, watching us, watching to see how well we have remembered sacred teachings. This Purifier will show us many miraculous signs in our heavens. In this we will know that our Creator is not a dream. Well, we're already being able to see a lot of miraculous signs that are being created largely by the Pyramidus radius formation. It's mixed in with things that HARP is doing, which aren't so good, and other things, but it's already beginning. But the red sky hasn't come yet, although remember, Thoth spoke of the blood sun, and he was speaking of our solar sun. Even those who do not feel their connection to spirit will see the face of the Creator across the sky. Things unseen will be felt strongly. Many things will begin to occur that will not make sense, for reality will be shifting back. We will receive many warnings allowing us to change our ways from below the earth as well as above, and that's inner earth. When one morning we will awaken to a red dawn, the sky will be the color of blood, and many things will begin to happen that right now we are not sure of their exact nature, for much of reality will not be as it is now. There will be many strange beasts upon the earth in those days, some from the past and some that we have never seen. Thoth has spoken to me about this, and again, I haven't read this prophecy before here that I recall, but he has spoken about, seeing dinosaurs and creatures we've never even imagined, and animals that are extinct, and all of these things we will see because of these veils being open, as Thoth has said, and I repeat here. The Orahim will create a unified field in our space-time, allowing all other electromagnetic zones within our Earth spectrum to become present in one waveform. Thus, we will see many beings among us, and they will see us. So this is what he's speaking of here. You would think that this would create chaos, but it's a different reality streaming. We're not going to have dinosaurs trampling our homes and Godzilla climbing, King Kong climbing the Empire State Building. It's not that kind of a thing. We will see it as if in a dream, but with our eyes open in a very 3D format. They will be among us, but they will be here in another type of streaming that is not as physically material as we are in now, because we won't be in the physical material realm that we have at this moment. So all of it will be somewhat different. However, those who just can't accept such things will just go absolutely bananas, you can imagine. Their fear will take them down. The nature of mankind will seem strange in these times as we walk between worlds and we house many spirits even within our bodies. Now, this sounds rather ominous, but let me explain this, because this part I really do understand. And, Thoth has said that in this period of time, we will begin to come to gather all our alternate reality bodies, incarnations, into one. All the alternate realities we're living in the electromagnetic zones of this planet are coming back together. So it will seem at first like we're this person, then we're that person, but we're really just bringing them all back together. And when we understand that, and most of us in the Pyramidist radius will innately understand, in fact, all of us in the Pyramidist radius will innately understand that. Because information is one of the main things about this radius. It gives us the information we need to survive this, not only to survive it, but to incorporate it in a more harmonious way into our beings. After a time, we will again walk with our brothers from the stars and rebuild this earth, but not until the Purifier has left his mark upon the universe. No living thing will go untouched here or in the heavens. Now, I believe that the Purifier is not another star or comet. I believe that it is either the sun itself going through such vast changes through this other type of streaming that doesn't just burn us all to a crisp, or it opens a gate through its blood form, and this red beingness comes out of it to guide this process. Because if it was a comet that was going to hit us, these things wouldn't be going on. It would just be boom, and that would be it. And I really believe that this is what it's talking about, what Thoth called the blood sun. And so that concludes with all that has been said in the Hopi prophecy and some of the things Thoth is speaking about. It sounds pretty severe and intense, and it's going to be. And those of us who accept the choosing of the Pyramidist radius, that vibration, the heart ascension, which takes us into that whole thing, it's going to be a lot, well, I don't even know if the word is easier. It's going to be more beautiful, more harmonious, more connected, more understandable. We're going to recognize our true soul selves in the experience. It still will have its challenges, and it will be intense, but the intensity will be more as a rushing of light for us rather than the deep, dark clouds Thoth speaks about for the walkers. But what about these other people? I mean, they're all of God. They all are divine, despite how sort of messed up they've gotten along the path with all of this in the choices that they have made. Well, Thoth speaks about the secondary ascension. As the voyagers, those self-chosen and now prepared souls who have gathered in the Golden Taya land areas move through the Stargate, so the secondary ascension will begin, even as the primary is still ongoing. The secondary ascension will be conducted as an 11th hour reclamation of souls who were not prepared for the first wave transfer, but with some guidance and energy light work can make it through the portal and into the new Earth star. Now, when we're talking about things like this, bear in mind that we're speaking of quantum physics. It's not as simple as, oh, we just go through this portal and there we are, we're in the new Earth star, we walked through. It's of course not like that. It's an energy thing. It's an energy dynamic. Thoth is shortening the expression of it here so we can get us on the same page of understanding what the result is. Many of these souls who have already gone through the first wave will come back and into the old world to help work with the lifting of souls who are able to move through the Stargate with their help. These souls ascending in the second wave will be from the sleepers and the walkers who are in a deep trance state, and those who are wandering in a semi-dark world, confused and frightened. They will be the ones who in that moment have a spark, a flickering desire to move into the light. Unfortunately, those who have entirely energetically dead light bodies simply cannot be reached, even if their souls are not cast with the dark forces. However, some will have very marginally operating light bodies, and from among these, there will be those who choose ascension as they near the end of their world. These will be given specific reinforcement through higher light channels as the first wave helpers guide them through the passage. The helpers will already have been inscripted and therefore can enter and exist in the new Earth star, moving through the portal freely for a while. Before the old world entropy escalates to a degree that will cause the portal between old and new to be sealed. Even so, the helpers will meet certain resistance in the force fields as they move back and forth. It will require energy from their newly defined biosystems to accomplish this movement. Many of the sleepers will be guided through, and fewer of the walkers. In the entire count of first and second wave, only approximately 40% of the then currently incarnated humanity will be taken up into the pillar of light. Angelics will be among the old world inhabitants as they move through their various experiences in the final days. They will act as sentinels of light and beauty for the marshaling of divinity within our souls. So I guess the bottom line is that the universe is abundant in compassion. And I say the universe, beyond that, the source, God, whatever you want to call it. And every effort will be made to help these souls. And even those who go through a rough time with it, the souls aren't going to be destroyed. They're going to another system that's similar to the one they left, and they're going to try it again and work through it again and have every opportunity to succeed the next time, possibly in a faster program than it's been this time around. Hopefully so. And for the rest of us, we're going to need to be able to be connected to one another more than ever before. We will still have individuation, and Thoth speaks about that. It's not about giving away the ego or individuation. It's about refining it. It's about inviting it into the whole spiritual self rather than leaving it outside the gate where it's just mad as hell and wants to just tear down the gates, because it's been left outside. And that's where we have the problems from ego and individuation. But when it's invited inside the spiritual realm, it becomes a helpmate. It's no longer begging outside the gate for crumbs. It's inside and it's working the job it was intended to do. And that's where we're going to be with the new Earth star reality. And ultimately, when Osiris, the soul, but most importantly, the quantum dynamic that will be released from the vault of Osiris beneath the Great Pyramid, the Temple of the Risen One, begins to do the Kachina fire star dance. When it brings up that quantumized feel of entanglement that just literally lifts the whole planet into the pure vibration, that is when our kachinas will be activated, and we will dance the dance into the new Earth star, the blue star of our new heaven and home. And so it is.